name, let it ring. Hall of Fame. Every word's a heavyweight swing. Hall of Fame. Built on blood, sweat, and pain. Hall of Fame. Put respect on the game. Put respect on the game. Hey. Put respect on the game. Hey. Yeah. Put respect from the mat to the mic, from the grind to the glow. Every scar got a story, every win you already know. No gimmicks, no smoke, just the truth when we speak. If it moved the culture, we the ones you should seek. They been watching the climb, now they hear the voice. When legends talk legacy, they ain't really a choice. Hall of Fame. This ain't hype, this is fact. Hall of Fame. Every era intact. Hall of Fame. Past, present collide. Hall of Fame. Forever certified. Put respect on the Booker T certified. 5 times solidified. Brad Gilmore verified. Voice of the fight amplified. Of his legacy we testify. Of his greatness we let it fly. History don't whisper. It speaks when we arrive. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. Legends never change.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
That's right. That's right. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. Before we get started, like we always do, we want to thank the people. We want to thank the people for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. We got a whole lot to talk about, man. I was all over the internet last week, okay? Let's just get that out of the way first. Second of all, how you doing, dog? How you doing?
I'm good. You should be used to that by the now, BT, but I'm doing good. You know, we were allegedly supposed to have some like winter wonderland in Houston, and I feel like they sold us a bill of goods. I mean, I know it got cold. Cold, and the north side got it, but down here we didn't get it at all. What are you laughing at?
What's crazy, man, is, I go to all these cold cities, man, and they're equipped for, the blizzards, all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? But my kids' school canceled last week. They didn't even wait, to see it. Just shut it down. Just shut it down. Do it now. You know what I mean? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? But I guess to be better safe than sorry. Caution above everything else, man. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was, when, got the plants, all covered up, got the RV, taken care of, because last time we had that winter storm, that real winter storm that came through. My water filter on my RV, I left it on there, and I went out there after the storm, and it had froze so bad it exploded. And the thing is, I wasn't the only one. It did it to a lot of other RVers. So everybody was fishing for parts, trying to get back on track, So I was like, man, I'm not going through that again. So I was trying to get ready for it, man, So my bones could feel it a little bit, you know what I mean? But
I know it was funny.
Other than that, I'm good.
I was talking to one of the guys from Reality Wrestling, Matty Ice, who's a Chicago native, and he was like, "Wait," he goes, "It's -11 here, and how cold is it there?" I said, "Bro, it's like 34." And he's like, "I don't understand why y'all are shutting everything down." I'm like, "Look, this is the way that it happens. We're in the South, man. We don't know. We don't have snow plows. We don't have people salting the sidewalks.
We got the salt. We got the salt on the freeways, though. We got a little bit of
salt on the freeways.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a big pile up on the freeway the night before the freeze. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, it's gonna get bad around here. But no, I didn't hear about too much going on. I'm just glad we're pretty much through it. You know what I mean? Hopefully, it should warm back up here pretty soon in the city and get back to normal, because I hate it. I hate it, man, having to postpone a reality wrestling show. That's not something that we do. That's not something we do. We normally, soldier on and and go out there. The show must go on, that type of deal. But this time, as an abundance of caution, we said, let's shut it down. Let's shut it down, just because we don't want anybody, flying in or driving in, get stuck here, whatnot. But reality wrestling, we're going to get right back on track here very, very soon, very, very soon. So don't cash in those tickets. Don't cash in those tickets. On another note with reality wrestling, on the side note, Prospect got the guys. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close to the 10 names that we're going to announce here real soon. I said, around the first, but we got to push it back. We got over 1,000 videos sent in from the prospects out there around the country. So, man, it's been literally a chore. It's been a Herculean effort going through all of these videos. Right now, I'm only me personally, in my stack, I'm only at around about 450 or something like that. And like I said, I got to get through, this whole batch before we actually, see who this first 10 is going to be, because we are looking for the very, very best 10 out there. We got a couple. And I'm gonna tell you, the couple that we got, more than a couple. The ones that we do have, they're damn good. So I can't wait till we get to that final process. Whittle this thing down and find the final 10. So it's gonna be good, guys. Hold your horses, like my mama used to say. Just hold your horses. We're gonna get there.
Well, look, I'm looking forward to prospects. I'm looking forward to now February 7th, Battle to the Bell. Tickets available now. RealityWrestling.com. One of our annual Big Four events, Battle to the Bell.
Who created that show?
Actually, you did, but do you remember when you created it? Do you remember that? I'm about to challenge you. Do you remember this?
Give it to me when.
Okay. It was the day we were supposed to go to the Canelo Alvarez fight, and our flights got delayed and canceled.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and that's when you're like, hey, Battle to the Bell. It's also when we saw the greatest thing in the history of airport travel, where that flight completely boarded, and then they had to get off the plane. And that's when the little kid said, are we ever going home? And she said, not today, brother.
Not today, brother. Yeah. Okay.
That was when it was. So I'll never forget that. But yes, you are the one who created that. But you know what? Like you said, your name's been in a lot of stuff lately. What did you see that you wanted to? Did you want to respond to anything?
You know what? I'm gonna let you roll the dice. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, look, there were some confrontations that you had that they.
Well, like I say, the thing is, I usually get I make the internet because of this show, not because of NXT.
Yeah.
This last week it was because of NXT and some of my comments that I made on the show. But I don't know, man. Am I too real? Sometimes?
I don't think
You know
there's
what
such
I
a
mean?
thing.
I need the people to let me know sometime. Am I too real? Because when we get down to the nuts and bolts, the rubber to the road, as they say. Normally, when I talk about something, I'm pretty close and accurate to the situation. Okay, no more than anything. And I don't do anything to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. I do things to motivate you. You know what I mean? And sometimes I gotta do things a certain way to motivate you. So I think people may have taken it out of context, but then again, maybe people didn't take it out of context at the same time. You know what I mean? Because like I say, a lot of times, just like on the main roster, it's hard to talk about certain things on the main roster. But in NXT, I think people need to understand that NXT is a developmental system. Okay. NXT is there to get young talent ready for the next wave, which is, Raw, SmackDown, maybe going to Mexico, doing some stuff. You know what I mean? But it's for one or the three. Okay. And if you're not getting yourself prepared to move to one of these, promotions and doing it very, very quickly, you might be needing to think about, what do I need to do to get there? who do I need to talk to put me, in that right frame of mind, to get to that next level, as far as throwing on the black mask, like I always say, going into self-interrogation mode, asking those I'm serious, because this business is serious, asking those serious questions. Why am I here? What am I doing this for? You know what I mean? What do I need to do to get to that next level? Is it about stepping on some toes and keeping on walking? Jack. Look here, I'm serious, man. Let me take a sip of coffee.
Take a sip. Take a sip. You know what I mean? To collect your thoughts. But what I guess, because we're coming up against a break, so I should say that there was stuff that you said about a young man during the LFG show that was aired on NXT, and I think that's what a lot of people were talking
that
about
too. That's another story.
And then there was Josh Briggs.
Yeah.
And so there were a few. There were a few that was out there.
You know what? Sometimes I let I don't like people to see me like the thing, with Keno Carver. I'm gonna just put that out there right now, because I know people are gonna be talking about it and asking about it. I don't like people seeing me in that light, but when you see me in that light, it's like a big vein in my neck right here. And when you see that vein come out, I'm pretty hot. I'm pretty ticked off about something. And I think I saw 2 or 3 of them. But the young talent, around me, they're going to get it, and they're going to get it raw. They're going to get it as real as they possibly can get it, because I need these guys to understand if they don't get it, they ain't going to be around very long. That's what this business is all about. It's about learning, keeping your ears open, watching the guys go out there and do it right and trying to emulate that. So, no, that's what it's about more than anything with that kid, Keno Carver. We'll get him on the right track. Guess what? Or not. He got you in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex, shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, "We can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security." It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free Just use promo code Booker at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code Booker, Booker, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just chopping it up inside the Hall of Fame, talking about everything going on in sports and entertainment. But yeah, man. Where you want to go, man? Where you want to go?
Well, I mean, look, we're talking about you and some of the headlines that you've made.
I didn't say anything, man. I didn't say anything.
No. But here's the thing. There's a couple things I want to get your reaction to. Other than, look, we talked about the Josh Briggs stuff. You talked about stuff that they showed on NXT where you had all the veins coming out. You looked like you did have several veins popping out. You looked like Macho Man when he was in Spider-Man. Do you remember that? Bonesaws ready, and he had all the veins. They're all coming out. You were hot. You were hot. That's how I knew. I'm like, oh, that's a shoot. That's a shoot.
It was a shoot. The thing is, people are going to think that that's not real, but nah, that was real.
That was real.
It possibly could be, but these young guys, like I say, they live and they learn. I need most of these young guys to know that I'm there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to try to teach them what this business is truly all about. That's it, and that's it only. And if they make it to that next level, I need my 10%. That's all I'm saying.
Simple. It's simple. Just give the man his 10%.
That's it.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, there's two, but let's start with this one first, is they did release the cover of the 2026 video game for the Monday Night Wars edition for 2K26, and you're on the cover of the video game.
Yeah.
And I thought that's always a cool thing whenever I see your face on one of the WWE products, let alone 2K26. What did you think when you saw that? Did you know that you were on the cover?
No, I didn't, man. I didn't. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I always find myself in those positions. As far as being there somehow I was there. For what reason I don't know, but I was there. And for me to be on the video game cover in 2026, after putting in the work back in the day, that grind, all those bumps in the road, all the fun that we had, on the overseas tours and stuff like that. Working with certain guys, throughout the years, thinking that this run, this wrestling thing would have been over with many years ago. I really did. I did not think this thing would last this long, and I just finished signing, trading cards earlier today, and I had maybe, I don't know, 500 trading cards, maybe 800. I don't know. It was a bunch of them, but it was one with myself and the Boogeyman. And I was like, wow, it was one with my brother and I. It was a few more with just me, just myself, and it was just it's like, man, how did I get here? I don't know, man. I don't know, but I just keep thanking God first, and then just still trying to go out there and continue to put the work in, no matter what.
Yeah, it's just so cool to see. It's also a testament to know that, like, those, because it's you and it's Rock and Austin and Hogan, and a few other names, that are featured on that front cover prominently. Faces are on there, and
I think Hall and Nash on there.
I think Hall and Nash are on there as well. Maybe
I think Eric Bischoff is on there.
Bischoff moves units.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But what it does say, and I actually do mean that earnestly, is like, they know, because what's the point of the cover athlete? Like, the point of the cover athlete is you want somebody to stop and go, oh, like for 2K, oh, look, KD's on the front cover, or Steph's on the front cover, or LeBron, or whomever, and you want to buy that, Anthony Edwards, whoever it might be. And to me, it's like, wow, how are we going to sell the most units? Let's put Booker and Rock and Austin and Triple H and Hogan on the cover, we'll know we'll sell it. You know what I mean? Because 2K makes these decisions, not WWE. 2K is the one making the decisions on how they're going to be able to market the game the best. They're just licensing the IP from WWE. So it's just cool. It's cool that is who they say that's who's going to sell the most units. We put these guys on the cover.
You know what, man? I look at it as a, like I say, an honor more than anything. I'm humbled more than anything to still be a part of this game with these young guys, man. These young guys doing their thing. They're really taking this thing to another level. And I love it. I love sitting and watching what these young guys are doing. But to have had a piece in building it is something that's really, really special. When you've had a part of something, like that Attitude Era. I didn't really get a chance to, see it up close and personal, because I came over a little bit late. But to be a part of, the WCW ride, the WWF ride, the WWE ride, the TNA ride, back to WWE, trying to lay that foundation, for the next, generation that's coming up, like, the young guys that I've worked with, as of late, even going back to when I first opened up my school, Athena, who's out there still doing it at a very, very high level. And I started my school 20 years ago, and Athena was one of my first students, so to see that part of the legacy is amazing. It really is. It's amazing.
Well, you talk about students and just keeping it pushing forward. There was another story that came out. I believe it originally broke in the Sun, but Jay Cargill was doing an interview, and we're both big fans of Jay Cargill here. And then I guess that your name came up in the interview, and she said, "Yeah, Booker's actually been sitting me down, giving me some film study, teaching me the kind of the ins and outs." And I know normally you keep those things on the low, but if somebody speaks on it, I'm sure that you might have a response, because Jade is somebody who, back when she was in AEW, I know you said she's got WWE written all over. You and I were big fans and saw a lot of upside to Jade Cargill being a huge star in the industry. She's now the women's champion, but she's tapping in and sitting under the learning tree of the 5-time champ. How did that happen? How did you and Jade get connected in order for that to go down?
I mean, actually, we were talking about it on the show. And I said something about Jade, and as far as, man, she's got, so much working for her. I mean, she's got so many boxes checked off. And if I could work with someone like her and just, help try to get her to the next level, man, it would be awesome. And boom, next thing I know, I get a message. I did direct message. I'm saying, hey, I want to take you up on that offer and work with you. And that right there tells me that, she's smart enough to know she's not the smartest person in the room as far as this thing goes. And if I can go find some help to actually help get me to that next level, let me do that. And it's really, really cool. We do Zoom studies, film studies, and really try to get down to the, nuts and bolts as far as how things work in this business, why that works opposed to this. Man, I love that right there. That right there, keep doing that. Give me more of that right there. That part right there, hey, I don't want to ever see that ever again. And that right there, it will take you so far in this business if you got someone telling you that, but not just telling you these things, but explaining why you want to take that out and perhaps never do it again. Maybe just because of her frame, just the way she's built. For me, there again, I always tell people, like, I never did a drop toe hold. If I had one drop toe hold in my career, it's going to be a rare, just because I didn't feel good going into that position, even though I probably could have did it very well. I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Maybe my body language wouldn't have told that proper story. So I just stayed away from it. So when a coach has foresight because they've been there before, and that's what, I try to give Jade more than anything. I see some of the mistakes she perhaps may be making, and I can correct those mistakes from an outside looking in. Man, it's so clear, man. It is so crystal clear. So for me, working with someone like her, who is obviously still a sponge at this stage of the game, and want those tools, need those tools, as far as knowing how to use those tools at the same time, is so very important. So for me, it's been awesome, being able to work with the champ. You know, so many people when you get in that position, and I'm sure she's gotten it. You know, social media. So many people want you to fail. You know what
Of
I mean?
course.
They want you to fail so badly when you get to that position. But I said Jade Cargill was unique. She was different than anyone that we've ever seen in this business. And one thing about, I know we gotta take a break. You know, one thing about haters, man, haters hate up. They don't hate down. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the champ. You know, let's go champ. The champ's on top. You know what I mean? So we just gonna keep working to make the champ the best champ she possibly can be. Oh yes, man. Storm is about to rain, guys. We gotta take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Booker T. And before we get rolling today, man, this message right here is sponsored by Raycon.
That's right, Book. Raycon's everyday earbuds have officially become the go-to gift for this holiday season. They sound great. They look great. They last all day long and then some with 32 hours of battery life.
Yeah, dog. And that's no cap, man. These things are built for real life, and I wear mine all the time, and they stay in place. They don't fall out, and they're comfortable as can be. Over 4 million people already got a pair, man. And if you've been curious, now is the time. Oh, yeah.
You're right, BT, because here's the deal. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Raycon is giving up to 30% off all products. It's perfect for gifting. And if you're like me, you're going to keep a couple pairs for yourself.
You know me, man. I love my gadgets, man. And these everyday earbud classics are loaded with upgrades. You got that active noise cancellation, multi-connectivity, and you can hook up to 2 devices at once. And they got that ergonomic fit. Stay put no matter what you're doing, man. Oh, yes.
And the colors, I love them. I'm rocking with that cool mint, but they also got blush violet. They got matte black. They got all kinds of different options. It's not just earbuds. It's an accessory that matches your vibe.
And get this, you can quick charge these bad boys. 10 minutes get you 90 minutes of playtime. 32 hours total with the Case Plus awareness mode. I love it, man. You can use it when you walking the dog. You know, me and Rover, we do it all the time, and you can still hear everything going on around you. That's a game changer. Oh, yes, man.
Yeah, man, I actually use these every day, and I mean it. I use this. Booker uses this. We all use Raycon, so you should use them too. Over 3 million people have already got them, man. 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. It's going to keep on coming. And they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. So if you don't love them, no worries. Easy return.
That's right, dog. Nothing to lose, but everything, and I mean everything to gain.
So don't wait. Raycon is going big for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Everything's up to 30% off. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Booker. That's buyraycon.com/Booker, Booker, and save on Raycon audio products site-wide.
Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. The Raycons, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta give them props. I got mine in my pocket. I'm serious. They're
good.
I'm serious, man. I got them in my pocket, and I'm not lying. These are just so the people, won't think I'm lying. There it is, right there, man. I'm serious. I just happen to have them in my pocket. I've been I don't know. It's like just walking around the house is just something about popping one bud in my ear, and I can hear everything still going on. Even though with both of them I can. But when I pop one in, it just feels comfortable because I got my phone somewhere and I'm watching TV. You know what I mean? I think I had both of them in when the Texans was playing.
Well, we're all trying to not see that.
But no, man. They definitely
I had to bring that up.
No, I'm serious, man. I'm still hurt about it, man. Still hurt.
Do you have a dog in the fight? The Pats versus Seahawks is going to be our Super Bowl matchup. Do you have a dog in that fight?
You know what, man? It's just so hard for me to see the Patriots back there again.
Yeah,
and we can't get there once.
I know.
We can't make one run at the Super Bowl. And then, the Patriots, they just get time after time after time. I don't know. Is it the money? Is it the money that, Robert Kraft is spending down there? Is it?
No, it's the four interceptions that we threw. That's what got him to the dance. Because whoever faced the Broncos that day were going to beat the Denver Broncos, and that's not any disrespect to them, but they were playing with a backup QB.
I don't know if we could have beat them.
We would have beat the brakes
off.
off.
I don't know if we could have beat them. I'm serious.
We could have beat the brakes off for sure.
All right.
But look, I want to ask you this, though. Going into this Saturday is the Royal Rumble. Saudi Arabia, the first time the Royal Rumble proper will be in outside the United States, outside of North America altogether, is going to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They're building a stadium from the ground up just for this show. So the Saudis spent some money on this thing, man. And what's so funny? It's true. It's what's happening. They're spending some money, man, on this show. And look, I'm excited for the Royal Rumble because it's probably my favorite show of the year. I like Rumble more than I like Mania just because of to me, this is where the playoffs start, right? You know how like NBA playoffs start or the football playoffs. To me, Royal Rumble is where the playoffs start for the WWE. That's what it feels like every year. And I feel like we're going to get a lot of things at this Royal Rumble, BT, but one of the things that I'm almost sure of that I'd put money on is I think this is going to be AJ Styles' last match on Saturday. It's him, it's Gunther. AJ's career is on the line. And so I've thought about this a variety of ways. And I know you don't like to book the show, but I've thought about this a variety of ways. And I'm like, well, how does it make sense for AJ to win this match? It doesn't. Gunther just beat Cena. You don't want him to go under at this moment. And then AJ to put a babyface to put his career on the line and it not go through. It's not like you can then rematch it again for WrestleMania. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I just feel like this is AJ's swan song. Is going to be at the Royal Rumble 10 years after he debuted in WWE at the very same event.
I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
I think it's going to happen.
You know what? AJ is not that type of guy. I mean, he could be. I could be wrong. But AJ is going to have his last match here in the States. He's not going to have his last match in Saudi Arabia.
That's a good point.
It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? You can book it like that if you want. You know what I mean? It might be good for booking thoughts, but I don't think AJ Styles, a guy who American made, had so many great matches with so many guys, so many, those TNA guys. That's not going to happen.
Then why put the career on the line? Unless it's just that this is just a one and done, right? They do this.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling, man. It's wrestling. You put the career on the line because it's wrestling. It's like Vince Russo saying, anything on a pole is a good idea.
Well, but that's not a good idea. That's a bad idea. That was a bad metaphor.
I do it.
Analogy, rather.
I'm just being sarcastic.
But I don't know. Just to me, it just is like we know AJ said he wants to wrap it up this year.
Yeah,
he wants to wrap it up in 2026. Obviously, Mania always makes sense for somebody to wrap it up at.
2026 is a whole lot of dates left in 2026.
I know, but it's not like he's not saying it like Cena, like I'm doing the whole year.
I'm not saying
who
knows what he's saying. Who knows how can you get in AJ Styles' head and say, oh, he's going to do it this time? I don't, when he does it, that's when it's going to happen. But I don't think this is the time. Okay.
Would you be shocked?
Of course, I'd be shocked just because of the reasons I just said.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, there's something, a deeper issue. Let's just say that.
Sure.
And I don't want to speculate on that or anything like that at all. But for me, if I'm booking the show, I'm not booking that. You know what I mean? If I'm the guy that's doing the acting, I'm not, going out that way just because of what I've done, for this business here in the United States since I was a kid. Like I said, I remember seeing AJ Styles as a kid in that locker room way back in the day, just looking for a break. You know what I mean? So, I don't see that happening.
People forget AJ was in WCW for a very short amount of time.
Short amount of time, yeah. I mean, I remember seeing that kid in the locker room, and he was better working than most of the guys on the
Still is.
roster, even at that time. And no, I just don't see that happening. Not in a million years. I don't see it happening.
I mean, we'll have to see because again, what I love about this Rumble season too is it's so unpredictable. Like I don't know who is going to win the Rumble this year, and that's kind of always the best way to do the Royal Rumble is where there's I think there's like six. There's like six people who could potentially win the Royal Rumble as we stand here today for the men. And I think there's 3 or 4 who could win it for the women, and there's no clear front runner. Now, there's a lot of money coming up on Obafemi to win the Royal Rumble. Do I think Obafemi is going to win the Royal Rumble? We don't even know if he's going to be in it. But if he is in it, I don't think he wins the Royal Rumble. But I'm going to throw a big prediction out, Book. What do you think of this? I said this a few months ago. I said it'd be great if Oba, when he comes to the main roster, they debut him at the Rumble, which looks like it could happen. And in the Rumble, he takes out Brock Lesnar. He eliminates Brock from the Rumble and sets up a Mania match for him and Brock. What a great way to solidify this guy out of the gate. You could have him win the Rumble, but I think that's too much too soon. I think him and Brock, I would like to see that. I don't know if I'm dream matching too much, BT, but I would like to see that.
I mean, I don't want to book the show or anything like that, but I could see something like that perhaps happening because Brock Lesnar has a limited amount of time left in this business. And if you're going to do something like that, you got to kind of like pull the trigger early on it. As well as I really think that Brock Lesnar is someone that could actually teach Obafemi, a few tricks of the game. Oba's going to need somebody like Brock Lesnar to show him a couple of, do's and don'ts when you're in that position. When you're trying to, keep your character, big, as Brock Lesnar has done throughout his whole career. I don't think anybody can talk to Obafemi better than, a guy like Brock Lesnar as far as that goes, so as well as just handling business at the same time. So I would love to see someone like Oba in that position just because I know what kind of networking it would be for him. I know, what kind of knowledge he could take away from a match like that. So I would love to see him in a situation like that.
And, for Brock, people, they don't ever give him this credit. They don't ever give him the credit. Brock is one of the great bumpers and sellers. Like for a guy his size, go watch him and AJ, go watch him and Finn, go watch him and Daniel Bryan, and watch Brock Lesnar bump around that ring for those guys, right? For those guys, let alone when he would had those series of matches with Taker or with Triple H or whomever. He really knows how to sell and do it at a very, very high level. He's still athletic into his mid-40s. So I can only imagine what him and Oba could put together because Oba's a freak athlete too. He's a freak athlete.
And as well as he's smart for someone so young in the business. I give Oba a lot of credit as far as having the wherewithal, the understanding to have figured this thing out as much as he has, like I say, in such a short range. So my thing is, like I say, I don't know if Brock Lesnar has teaching or anything like that on his mind ever after, his professional wrestling career. But I do know at this present time, I don't think there's anybody better to teach Obafemi what it takes to be a Brock Lesnar type guy for the next 15 years. I don't think there's anybody better to talk to him. I mean, I couldn't even talk to him better than someone like Brock can. Even though I've been in the business a long time, I've never been in that position from a monster perspective and how you got to really, really protect that. Such as the Undertaker did throughout his whole career. He was able to protect that brand, and make it feel a certain way for so many years, So, yeah. I think I'm 100% right on that one. Yeah, seriously.
Well, I would love to see it, BT. We got to go to a break, but we'll talk more Royal Rumble on the other side.
Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando Whole Body Deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. You know, the most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book. And let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time. Since switching to Mando, I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got. It's aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking the Rumble, man. It's all about the Rumble. You know, I've been in a few Rumbles myself throughout the years. And Big Pop, major pops. You know, but I never had a whole lot of success at the Royal Rumble. I must say that. I've never had a whole lot of success in that style of matchup. All the, the bodies, all the chaos, all the, the variables that goes into a match like that, and I just never really had I guess the right frame of mind going into those style and those types of matches. Just wasn't my cup of tea.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't know if you know this, but you competed in 9 Royal Rumbles in your time in the WWE, including your first one was in 2002, your most recent one in 2023. You had a total of 42 minutes and 59 seconds in the Royal Rumble. You had 11 eliminations, and your best finish was in 02. You were in the final 5. Your longest time in the match was in 2005 with 10 minutes and 45 seconds, and your shortest time was 17 seconds in the Royal Rumble 2006.
Oh, man, that's funny, man. That's funny. See, they knew after that first one, I wasn't winning none of them. They put me in that first one. I was in the final 5, right?
Yes.
And they saw I went out there and probably did nothing.
Well, would you like to know who you eliminated in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so you eliminated Rob Van Dam, a tag team partner, Eddie Guerrero, Scott Steiner, Orlando Jordan, Muhammad Hassan, Luther Reigns, the Sandman,
Sandy,
Gregory Helms,
Hurricane,
Michael Cole.
Okay.
And you eliminated Kane twice in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's good. It's
not bad. That's not a bad run of guys.
Not bad, man. But my stats pale in comparison to guys who have been in Rumbles in past. Like I said, it just wasn't my style of match. I just didn't feel good, feel comfortable going into those type of matches. I don't know why. I knew I wasn't winning. So I'm like, why go out here and really, risk hurting myself, something like that. And I'm not able to compete for a singles championship one-on-one with the guy who wins this thing. That's the way I was thinking, I guess.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've always been curious by this in the Royal Rumble. And then there's actually somebody who said something in the chat I want to ask about too in a second. But when you did the Royal Rumble in 2023, So now 3 years ago, and you were actually eliminated by Gunther at the Royal Rumble. How much time ahead of time do you figure out what you're going to do in the Rumble? Or is it just like, hey, Book, here's your number. And then, I don't know, do you just walk out?
I found out right before I got ready to go out.
Who tells you? Is it Bruce? Was it Vince at the time?
Those guys in the gorilla staged, because I came in late or something. I can't remember what
Remember
happened.
you did the
Did the
pre-show.
show. Yeah, I did the pre-show. So when I came in late. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know when I was going to be doing it. And they just told me, boom, Book, you're going to be doing this. This is when you're going to be going out. And bing, bing, here we go. It was that quick. I found out that fast. It was no preparation other than, who I was going to do something with right there in the beginning. And, pretty much that was it. And I was in and out.
Did you have any call in the fact that you were going to get eliminated by Gunther, or is that what they wanted? Is that something you and Gunther worked out?
No, they actually wanted Gunther to actually do it. And I thought about taking one of those chops right before I went out.
You thought about it.
I thought I did. I swear to God, I did think about it. And then I was like, man, forget about it. I'm not going to say anything about that, So I went in and got the job done and got in and got out of there. And I even made the news after the Royal Rumble. I don't know if you remember, because people thought I went through the middle rope.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Remember that? And I pushed the top rope down so far to make my landing, really soft. People thought I went through the middle rope. It was just stupid, But no, it was awesome, man. It was awesome watching Sheamus. You're in the corner, covering his face, because I'm getting ready to do the spinneroonie and he's laughing. It was crazy. It was so much fun. So much fun to be in there with those guys.
Yeah, man. I'm sure. I'm just sure it's just the Rumble is one of those fun shows to be involved with. I just think it was such a great idea by Pat, because Pat Patterson came up with it, right? And what's so great about the Rumble is that you can make all these moments happen that are going to lead to WrestleMania. Like you can set up so many stories in the Royal Rumble, which is just one of those genius strokes of an idea from Pat Patterson. Now, they have 2 Rumble shows, obviously, or 2 Rumble matches in every show. The Women's Royal Rumble is something. Roxanne Perez holds the record for the longest appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble in history. Is this the year she punches her ticket? I think money's on Liv Morgan. Some people think we might see Bianca Belair come back, who, by the way, Bianca's been out since WrestleMania with the fingers.
Yeah.
And I think she's had a lot of issues with the hand, not able to do much of anything. So I don't know if we see her back. I don't know what to expect from that. Is there somebody you think like they deserve the spotlight this year in the Women's Royal Rumble? Is it a Chelsea Green? Is it a Liv Morgan? Is it a Roxanne Perez? Is it a Rhea Ripley?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of women on the roster they can actually go with. I know Lash Legend.
Lash
just got there, and she could make a big splash, in a match like that. I think a match like that definitely, weighs in her favor, so I could see her having a really, really good showing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I try to sit back and watch as a fan and, try to see how things play out.
Well, I wanted to know too. One of the guys in the chat, I wanted him to send it in so I know what they're talking about, because I was just trying to Google it and find it. Someone said, as Booker talked about Cody talking about him in the Undertaker interview, I'd like to know what was discussed. So somebody can send that in. I'd love to hear about it. I know they did their podcast, or Cody did his podcast with the Undertaker. So I wonder what was potentially discussed by those 2 veterans. But speaking of Cody,
Don't tell.
have you seen the Cody and Jacob Fatu face off from SmackDown?
Yeah.
What great cinema between these 2 guys. And Jacob getting the spotlight on him to be involved in the main event scene. I mean, I think it's possible Jacob Fatu wins the Royal Rumble. Like I said, there's 6 guys who could potentially do it. And Jacob's one of them. I think it's Jacob. I think it's Braun, Cody, Roman, Oba could potentially do it. Jericho, if he's back.
I'm not gonna spoil it or anything like that. I'm not gonna say who's gonna win or anything like that. But Jacob, definitely, there's another guy who they can run with and make a huge splash. I'm not, playing favorite or anything, but he definitely could be a guy who can, they can put in that position right now and run with it. You know what I mean? So no, it's so many guys in that position.
I mean, I think when he was walking to the ring for Saturday night's main event this last week, he did the old school Harlem Heat, cut the promo to the camera as he's walking. I think he said, and I gotta go back and find it, because I think he said I went from EBT to WWE as he was walking, which I think is just a great. Yeah, he said, someone did say that. Yeah, I went from EBT to the WWE, which is one of the great lines, I think, in promo history. Like, what a great way to sum up your whole life's journey. I went from EBT to the WWE. That promo he did against Cody, and for Cody to bring up, his past and them to get hot about it, and boom, they're face to face. It felt like old school wrestling.
No, I think, the way people are talking about, wrestling right now, it has to get back to that feel, where these guys are actually going out there and creating some really, really great moments, for the fans, opposed to there again, just, thinking one way or the other. Wrestling has always been a two-way street. It's always been the drama, the showmanship, getting those fans into the arena, and then like Dusty Rhodes, cutting that promo, and then going out there and giving those fans that payoff in the middle of the ring. I think, two guys like that definitely, perhaps can live up to that bill. I know they can live up to that bill more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, they could, one of those guys could win the Rumble. I don't know who. That's why I love this show. I don't know who's going to win the Rumble this year, but I know we got more to talk about, Book. We got UFC stuff. There's a lot of other things going on in the world.
Man, UFC, it's getting hot. It's getting hot over there. Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it? Houston, get ready to rumble with the Hall of Fame on ESPN Radio.
That's right, Booker. We're bringing the heat Tuesday through Friday right here on the Houston airwaves on 97.5 and 92.5.
We've got the exclusive scoop on wrestling, boxing, and everything in between.
Join us for the smackdown of sports talk, and don't miss a moment of the action.
The Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that? Sucker! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We just chopping it up, man. We're going all around. Do well. It's actually where we going, man. I don't know. Like I said, anything more you want to get with as far as WWE talk? What I mean, you said something about Chris Jericho.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
You said,
what do you want to know?
Is he back in WWE?
There's no official word. No,
but you put him back in there.
I put him back in there. Yes,
you put him back in there, and I'm sitting there saying, did I miss something? Look up, it's Chris Jericho back.
I'm just thinking like
WWE. No, he's not.
I'm just thinking.
See, man, you always jump the gun, though, man. You always jumping the gun, and
whoa.
Somebody. I don't need you jumping the gun, because somebody was definitely probably going to report that Brad Gilmore said Chris Jericho was back in the WWE. Somebody would have wrote that. That's why I had to clarify it.
I might have the inside track. I am a 4-time guest on Talk is Jericho, so we're basically best friends. So maybe I could confirm that. No.
Is that a scoop? Is that a scoop?
Oh, it's not a scoop. I know nothing. I know
you
nothing.
I Jericho nothing. And he said,
no, don't do that. I didn't say that.
What? What?
We don't talk about the business. We talk about movies. But what I was gonna say is this. It's just Tony Khan seems less than committal to say that Jericho's re-signed. Now, could that be he wants to build buzz for a Jericho return, or has Chris done everything that he can do or wants to do in AEW and wants to send it, right the last couple years of his career? Because, he really does seem to be like a rock star pro wrestling, and just keeps going like all the classic bands that he loves. They keep playing. He finds a way to keep on going. So I think that we see Chris back at the Rumble. I could be completely wrong in that, but I think it makes sense. Why not get him back during WrestleMania season, have a little pomp and circumstance at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas? He can bring the light up jacket back, right?
Yeah.
Bring the light up jacket.
Uh-huh. I like
Break
it.
the walls down. Come on,
I
man.
like that too. Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love it.
I
I would
agree.
love it.
I
Oh,
agree.
and remember, you and I talked about it. I still think it's probably a stroke of genius booking from you, and that is Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 42, one-on-one with Logan Paul.
Yeah. Don't
That's
throw
a
me-
marquee match.
Don't throw me in there. That's what I was just.
You came up with that was your idea.
it's
So the question
something.
is, do you have an inside scoop? Do you have a scoop that you're not telling us?
I'm trying to throw that in there. You're trying to make that sound like something. That's nothing.
That's what you said.
Fantasy.
You said
That was a
book-
fantasy. Look here. I have no personal knowledge. All right. I'm not friends. I'm not on either one of those guys' shows. I'm not a regular or anything like that. You know what I mean? So no, that's totally different. That's called fantasy booking. Okay.
Well, we'll see. And now another guy who might be in the Royal Rumble, Powerhouse Hobbs. It seems like it's happening. There's been some names going out there of a potential name of his. I don't know if that's true or not, so I don't want to say anything, but it seems like he's going to be in the WWE. And I saw somebody float the idea, and I want to know what you think. Somebody said that it would be, and I actually don't know if I like it or not, because now that I'm about to say it out loud, I don't know if I like it. But somebody floated the idea of Hobbs and Trick being paired together, and Hobbs kind of being a heater for Trick on SmackDown. I actually don't know if I like that. I kind of would like to keep them separate.
I don't like this. Those guys, both of those guys could be major mainstream stars.
They could be like big deals.
I
Yeah.
don't think we need to, pair those guys together and make them a tag or anything. No, I don't see that at all. I think these guys could be two dominating forces from two totally different parts of the world. You know what I mean? So no.
Trick is out of here, by the way. He's already with a few weeks into SmackDown.
Yeah, the thing is,
Seeming like a huge deal.
he's a huge deal, and he's still a work in progress. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to cloud that or anything like that. I need guys like Trick Williams to be able to go out there and work with guys like Sami Zayn so he can get better inside that square circle from a knowledge perspective. That's it.
Yeah. But what do you think about Hobbs coming in? Would you have him come in at the Rumble? Would you have him be a night after WrestleMania guy?
I mean, no, man. Hobbs could definitely be an unexpected entry at the Rumble. That's what the Rumble has always been predicated on, is surprises, having those 5 surprises. We haven't been able to have those surprises as of late, like we used to have back in the day. So I think a guy like Hobbs would definitely, fill, one of those spots very, very easily, and the fans would go crazy for him. They would love to see Hobbs actually come over and make his splash at the Rumble and, get ready to head it up going into WrestleMania, see how this thing play out. I could see Hobbs being a Heyman guy. I could see that.
Put him in the Vision. That's not a bad idea. Put Hobbs in there with Braun and Logan and Bronson Reed. That could actually be a sweet.
I could see him being a Heyman guy. So I mean, I'm not booking the show or anything like that. I mean, I'm not part of the booking committee or anything like that. They're not paying me to actually do any of those jobs or anything like that. I'm trying to stay on this job right here. So let's just not even think that way. But yeah, I can see something like that happening.
Well, look, why don't we go from the Royal Rumble, which, by the way, Hall of Fame countdown to the Royal Rumble will be on ESPN radio platforms nationally on Saturday with a special hour-and-a-half show starting at 12 Eastern, 11 Central. And we're going to be having some special guests in the building and breaking down all the pomp and circumstance of the first Royal Rumble from Riyadh and what you can watch the PLE on ESPN, the ESPN app. BT,
It's big.
it's huge. It's the first Royal Rumble on ESPN.
No, I mean, but where we're having the event, it's the first time we've ever done something like that. And just think about it. WrestleMania, just a couple of years, going to be doing the same thing. Wow. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. But you know what? Speaking of big streaming moments, UFC going to Paramount Plus I watched the show on Saturday, and I love the fact that I can tune into a UFC pay-per-view, you know,
Hey, did you get
on
any of the
Paramount.
glitches? Did you get any glitches?
I didn't get any glitches, but I did hear some people it was crashing out on them at first.
Yeah,
Because I think that they had twice the expected audience for the streaming service. So if you remember when they did Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, there was a lot of streaming issues because they just weren't
yeah,
expecting that amount of people. So I
yeah,
think it was a similar thing with the UFC. But I got to say, it's great to be on Paramount and not traditional pay per view. You go from $8.99 a month. Before it was $85 for a pay per view on to get the UFC every month. So I was tuning in. I was watching all the prelims. I was good to go. And I actually thought the card had a lot of star power on it. And it was capped off by a sensational main event with Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight championship, which congratulations to Justin Gaethje. The human highlight reel continues to do it. But to me, Paddy Pimblett showed me a lot in that fight. Showed me a hell of a lot. He's a tough son of a gun.
yeah. I mean, he is tough. I mean, but let's start with what do you think about Derek Lewis? I mean, he went out there and took a big loss against Waldo Cortez Acosta, and I mean, it wasn't.
It was a one-sided affair.
It was a one-sided affair. I wouldn't even call it a beatdown or anything like that. Even though he took some big shots there at the end when Acosta was raining down those shots, just bang, 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 bang. But it looked like Derek Lewis was somewhere else. Derek Lewis, 40 years old. He's going to be 41 next month, February. He's going to be 41 years old. And you could see like overnight that number was that magic number, and it seemed like he was walking in quicksand. Seemed like those punches he was throwing, you could see him coming
So
from
slow.
a mile away. I mean, Waldo actually stepped back at one point and was like, what are you doing? Anybody could see these shots coming. I don't know, what was it, the fact that perhaps Derek Lewis say, man, I've given everything that I have to give to this sport. Derek Lewis, I remember having Derek Lewis on the show when he first started, making his run. And I don't know if you remember what Derek Lewis said.
I do.
But he said that, man, I don't care about winning no championships or anything like that. I just want to pay for my house. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember
And I
that.
was like, that was one of the most, real things I'd ever heard, from one of those guys. And then to see Derek Lewis not just win enough money to pay for his house, but literally, literally excel, in the heavyweight division. It was only a few guys in that division that could really beat Derek Lewis. If it wasn't for DC, perhaps Derek Lewis would be the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he very well could have been. It's very conceivable. Yeah.
Seriously, that could have happened for him. So he parlayed his success, pretty well. So I give Derek Lewis a pat on the back, man, and a round of applause for what he did for the sport. But definitely on that night, on Saturday night, he just did not have it. And you could see it. It was written all over the body language of Derek Lewis. But what a hell of a career. If this the end for Derek Lewis, what a hell of a career.
It may or may not be, but we got some more stuff to talk about the UFC with our final segment, BT. So let's go to break and we'll come right back.
Stick around, guys. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, we can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security. It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now can you dig that, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking about a little UFC went down over the weekend. UFC 324. Wow. Man, it's a lot of shows. That's a lot of fighting, man. It's a lot of blood on that mat. Have been spilled over the years, but no, we talked about Derek Lewis, but Sean O'Malley against Songy Dong. And I tell you, every time DC and those guys said Songy Dong, I said, man, just please call him Song. You know, just say Song.
I know. But it's so hard to not call him Song Yadong just because it rhymes.
Songy Dong. I don't, come on, man, just call him Song. Somebody in production should have been like, guys, come on, enough of the Songy Dong.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. So I watched that fight, and I like Sean O'Malley. I think he's a good fighter. I do not think that he won the fight. I think he won the third round. I think you could maybe call the first one close, but it looked like Song had him in the first two rounds on my scorecard.
I thought he lost the fight too, but I thought it was close enough to where they could have given him the fight. That's the way I looked at it. I did not think by any means that he won that fight. One thing I do think about Sean O'Malley is he's plateaued.
Yes.
This is it. He's not going to get any better than he is right now. This guy's 6 foot tall, pretty much. And he's fighting at 145 pounds. And I was listening to Sean O'Malley have a conversation. And he was talking about his regular walking around weight. But if he went up to 54, there's no way he could compete with, the guys like Charles Oliveira, guys like Justin Gaethje. That just would be too much for him.
Yeah.
This guy's 6 foot tall. He's taller than everybody in 135, 45, and 55.
55, yeah.
Okay. And he's talking about not being able to compete, with those guys. I see Sean O'Malley want to stay in a position where he can fight smaller guys, such as a guy like Peter Yan, who he was calling out after the fight. He's just trying his best to get back to the title. But I do think Sean O'Malley has peaked. This is the best he's going to get. He's not going to get any better.
I completely agree with you. And this is something, I've enjoyed watching Sean O'Malley fight over the years, but I don't see him kicking into another gear than what we've already seen. And to me,
if he goes out there and Marab beats Peter Yan, we've already seen that fight, and then Peter Yan is still, he's a bad man, and you could be 6 foot, because remember that was what Connor's thing was in 145. He was just bigger than everybody, and he was still able to.
I said
Yeah.
that for years. I said that from the beginning.
And he was able to run through everyone in 45 and 55 because he was bigger. But when he went up to 170, all of a sudden he started running into problems. And
Big
I think that Sean O'Malley is a very similar case. And to me, Song Yadong won that fight. Was it close? Sure. Did that third round save Sean O'Malley? Absolutely.
Sean O'Malley there's no way he's going to be able to learn how to wrestle and the amount of time that he has left in his career. There's no way. There's no way. So his clock is ticking. Like I say, his ceiling, like I say, for me, has plateaued. I think this is the best we're gonna see of Sean O'Malley. I don't think he's gonna be that prodigy that we thought perhaps Sean O'Malley was. And the thing is his frame, man. Is his frame. I mean, he's too skinny. It's too skinny. There's no way a guy like that is going to be able to sustain over a period of 20 fights in the UFC with a body like that. It's no freaking way. Just not going to happen. With those guys like a Marab who's going to just grind him, guys like Peter Yan who's going to grind him, guys like Song Yadong who took him down and grinded him. So what do you think is going to happen when the competition get tougher as far as the wrestling level game goes? It's no way. There's no way. He's plateaued. He's plateaued. Let's move on. Paddy Pimblett, another guy who the UFC cuddled, another guy the UFC put in the perfect position as far as his rise to the championship shot. I think they played it pretty safe with Paddy Pimblett, thinking that they were going to find another meal ticket that was going to, be able to, be the next Conor McGregor, and sell out the show, be able to have a country watching him. Yeah. I really think that's what they thought was going to happen. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Justin Gaethje, he had totally other plans as far as that went. Justin Gaethje went out there and he showed exactly what that game is truly all about. It's the pain game. It's the pain game. It's who could take the most pain, who could take the most, and like Rocky said, and keep moving forward. That's what that game is truly all about. And I watched that dude, man. He had a strategy, and you can see the strategy play out, man, perfectly. He said he was going to try to push Paddy into the late rounds. Justin Gaethje did not throw one leg kick into the third round.
Yeah.
And that's normally his game plan. I was like, wow, what did he do? What did he doing? What did he thinking? But you could see how he was, banking on how much pressure he was going to put on Paddy Pimblett. And if you could just land that one shot, if you land that one big shot to change the whole name of the game. And he almost got it done in the first round. What a fight. What a heart on Paddy Pimblett. I got to give him a lot of credit as well. I give that dude a lot of credit. Paddy Pimblett, that's another guy who walks around at 220 pounds, 230.
He blows up between fights.
I don't see how that dude makes weight. I don't
know how he does it either.
I don't know how Paddy Pimblett makes weight. But as far as a guy who I cannot question that dude's heart. You know what I mean? His will and his determination. He really wanted that gold belt. He really wanted to walk out the new champion, interim champion, that is. And I swear, man, he fought like an animal. He really did. He had no quit in him. So I give Paddy Pimblett all the credit in the world for going out there and putting on a hell of a show. Hell of a show.
Yeah, I think Justin clearly won the fight. Obviously, the referees thought the same thing. This is Paddy Pimblett's first loss in his UFC career. He was on a good run where he beat Ferguson, he beat King Mo, he beat Michael Chandler. But this was a real big challenge to go up against Justin Gaethje, who's an absolute warrior in the octagon and one of the guys who's just willing to scrap. I like when Gaethje does. You know how Gaethje is, he's a real scrapper. He always pulls up his shorts like a little bit right there before he starts to fight. You notice that before he starts to throw his punches, he pulls them up like I'm ready to scrap, like you see like in the schoolyard or something like that. So this guy's a scrapper. But to me, I agree with you. It was not like Paddy Pimblett got washed. He stayed in there and he took some shots that would drop a lot of guys.
Oh, man.
And put him out. And I was like, damn, okay. You got some respect for me after this fight, man. Even in a loss, in wrestling terms, even in a loss, he won in some ways. In some ways. It's a little bit different in the UFC, but he's still, I don't think his stock fell too far, even with this loss in the UFC.
No doubt. I don't think his stock went down. I don't think it went down too much, but I think fighters that watched this fight, they saw a lot of holes in Paddy Pimblett's game, and I think those holes will be exploited, going forward. I think the competition could only get much tougher for Paddy Pimblett. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a tough road ahead of him as far as getting that championship. I'm gonna tell you right now. So I don't see Paddy Pimblett making his way back to a championship title shot anytime soon. It's gonna take I don't know. It's gonna take a whole lot, of moving pieces around to get Paddy Pimblett back in that position.
I agree. Well, now we're going to go to our super chats here, BT. If you have any super chats, you'll need to get them in before we wrap this segment up. Our first one of the day comes from
Super chat.
Accelerator. Okay, who's more hated, Ahmed Johnson or Sean Stasiak? Well,
That's easy. That's easy. Ahmed Johnson. If that's a trivia question.
If that's a trivia question. Does Sean Stasiak have heat?
Stasiak, he didn't have he had heat for, filming in the locker room. That was his big thing. He had taped some stuff, where he was, I don't know, trying to be a reporter, and he had a tape in his bag, and the next thing, the boys found it. That's how he got ousted in WWE. So he just had a bad reputation more than anything for doing that. Stasiak was actually a nice guy. I actually liked Sean Stasiak.
He's a good worker too. I mean, decent, right?
Yeah.
Decent.
I always liked Sean Stasiak. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time,
doing the wrong thing.
Wrong.
Cali Toenail. Bianca Belair's my pick to take it all, and that's how we get her and Jade for WrestleMania. And the men, I think Oba should win it. It'd be greater storylines later. Those are two good picks. I don't see Oba winning.
I don't see, I don't see Oba winning because it's such a huge moment at such a pivotal time in his career. You really gotta mold a guy like Oba Femi the proper way if you want him to be like I always talk about, this generational talent. It's gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make it sure that it's the right moment. Akos 517. We have heard Taker and Flair talk about how they had moments in their career where they lost confidence. Did you ever experience something similar?
I never really lost confidence, as far as my in-ring goes. Of course, you see yourself getting older, and that part, kind of, plays with you a little bit. But I always wanted to get out before, it really, showed too much. And I think I did that. At the end of my career, I was nowhere near as good as I was, but I could still be good once. You know what I mean? So no, I never had any confidence problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Flair, I think, said he went through a time where he was just real depressed. And Taker, I think, coming back after WrestleMania 30, said something similar, like where he just wasn't feeling like himself. So it can happen.
It's called getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Luis says, "Hey guys, I'm a big fan from Portugal." Well, we love Portugal. Have you ever wrestled here, Booker? And what's your favorite place in Europe to wrestle?
You know what? I don't know. I'm sure I've wrestled there. When? I don't know, but favorite place in Europe to perform. For me, wrestling was always a blur. When we were in Germany, I always had, fun. I remember, like one of the most fun places was Cologne, Germany, man. I remember having so much fun there, just because I remember the boys, man. It was just like party central, man. We just had so much fun. I remember having a beer so big, man. The beer was like, it was in a mug so freaking big, and I drank that whole beer that night. So, man, a lot of places, but not one stand out.
Not one stands out. Yeah, I mean, I've heard you talk about Germany a few times. D'Angelo Brown wants to know what tag team will be in the Hall of Fame this year. The Nasty Boys or Demolition? I say can we just put them both in?
You know what? That would be a great thing if we could just put both of those teams in this run right here, and just because the Nasties, they definitely deserve it. And Demolition, those guys, it's not even a question, whether Demolition should be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? As well as the Nasty Boys. So I'm like you, Brad. I hope both of those teams go in.
And then our final one of the day, MW Music 76. AJ is not losing at the Rumble. He's not retiring without his family present. Double DQ or a no contest. Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I mean, how many times can I tell you, Brad? How many times can I tell you, follow my lead? Follow my lead on this. There's somebody that knows, they can feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. AJ is not going to do that without his family being able to come in the ring, and his daughters. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on. You know what I mean? So no, I feel the same way.
Well, that's our show for the day, BT. I feel like we covered the gambit.
I think so.
But we'll be on Saturday on ESPN National, so I just want to get that back.
Anything that I perhaps made the social media with. Do I need
From
to
this show?
In other words, do I need to say something before we get off?
I don't think so.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Do I need to say anything?
Yeah. Why don't you? Who's somebody on the NXT roster you can like dog real quick? Who's somebody who you just like, this guy sucks? Can you say this guy sucks about somebody? Just be like, this guy, I hate this guy.
I'm not gonna say it because I know they're just waiting. They waiting right now. They got their finger on the button.
Yeah, because you know what? Some reality wrestling footage has made it on NXT recently. Your LFG footage has made it on. So there's about time for them to take some Hall of Fame footage. You should cut a promo on somebody right now.
I'm not saying nothing.
I
want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. Brad for all the heavy lifting. Until next time, guys, like I always say, peace. We love you. We out this mug.